Did Tesla keep their biggest promise of 2020 of delivering 500,000 cars? Well, according to Tesla, yes, but according to The Verge, hells no. We'll crunch the numbers and I will tell you the results. In more Tesla news, Tesla drivers can now add over 500 fast charging locations in the United States without Tesla having to build a single new supercharger. Now, how is that possible? Well, Inside EV's contributor Tom Moloughney, who broke the story, will be here to explain. Volkswagen has created a robot to hunt down your electric car in a dark, empty garage and charge the hell out of it. Mustang Mach-E made a great holiday present as first deliveries have finally started. Tesla may not be making the 4680 batteries on their own after all, and Fisker throws his hat into the gauntlet of the electric pickup truck battle. All of this is coming up next. Oh, welcome to E4 Electric. Happy New Year. If you are interested in everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, well, you came to the right place. Just click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Tesla has just announced their numbers of cars produced and most importantly delivered in 2020. So did they get to the promised land? 500,000 cars in 2020? Well, according to the title of this article from The Verge, they did not. They failed miserably. Or did they? Well, technically they're right, but even I, who has always called Tesla out on their BS when I needed to, have to call BS on The Verge. You got a completely different story if you follow Tesla on Twitter, because there they've celebrated achieving that very same goal that The Verge said they did not. So what really happened? Well, what really happened that Tesla fell short of only 450 cars out of 500,000. So I would give this one to them. It's definitely yet another promise kept. This has been a great year for them, and don't forget, in order to get there, they had to deliver like a really high number of cars, definitely way into their record. But in the grand scheme of things, Tesla is still technically a tiny car maker, because just as a point of reference, the Volkswagen Group has delivered more cars in the last few weeks of 2020 than Tesla did the entire year. But Alex, you might ask, how is that Tesla is the most valuable by far automaker in the world? Well, I don't know. That is all according to the stock market, but then again, according to the stock market, we all had great 2020 and the pandemic never really happened. But at the end of the day, this is huge. Tesla has delivered on its promises, it's growing, and it's all despite a horrible year for many industries, including the auto industry due to the pandemic. Let's move on to another exciting Tesla story, which was really going to be the top story for this video until Tesla came out with their delivery numbers. But before that, a quick reminder that this segment is sponsored by Electrify America, the largest public fast charging network in the United States that provides the freedom for all electric car drivers to go where they need to go, including coast to coast. Electrify America has ultra fast chargers at speeds of up to 350 kilowatts for capable vehicles. Download their app to find hundreds of locations and sign up for their membership. Get started using the link in the description of this video. We are all by now used to the big rivalries like Apple versus Android, which is the rest of the phones, or now we're getting used to Tesla versus the rest of the EV makers. But the problem is that the biggest disservice to the customers in both is the charging solutions. As you probably know, Tesla's supercharging network is the biggest one in the world, but it uses its own plug configuration. The rest are catching up, like the Electrify America, Ionity, and others, but they use the CCS plug, though in Europe and US, those are a little different as well. Now in Europe, Tesla has actually started using the CCS solution, which put everybody under the same roof. However, here in the United States, we still have the two camps with really no solution until now, and it came from CTEK Power in the form of this adapter, though there is a caveat. But instead of me telling you all about it, why not talk to the very first journalist who was able to test it out? And oh look, it is the Inside EVs and our own weekly contributor, Tom Moloughney. All right, Tom, listen, I don't know any better expert than you in this field. You obviously was pretty much the first person to get it and get it on video. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, tell me, what's a big deal here?
Well, basically, Tesla vehicles were able to use CHAdeMO DC fast chargers here in North America, but they couldn't use the CCS. And the CCS combo is really becoming the standard. That's what's being deployed everywhere now. And so Tesla vehicles didn't have access to those chargers. Now with this adapter from CTEK Power, you can use them. And it's kind of a big deal, Alex, because there's a lot of CCS DC fast chargers out there. And this would give Tesla owners access to use any of those stations.
Now, this mainly is great news for Tesla owners in North America, because in Europe, everyone's kind of in agreement that CCS is the standard.
Well, that's correct. The new Tesla vehicles come equipped with CCS as their inlet, and the superchargers have that plug, so you don't need an adapter. Now, Tesla already came out with an adapter for CCS in Europe. Now, your followers should understand, CCS in Europe is slightly different than the CCS in North America. That's why, they had an adapter there, but we couldn't bring it over here and use it. That's called CCS 2 in Europe. In North America, we use CCS 1, very similar, but different enough where you wouldn't be able to use the adapter here.
Now, I know, especially a few years back, especially when Tesla was just starting out, their supercharging network was pretty much their, best feature, right? Something that nobody could catch up to, didn't really even have resources at first, but now we have Electrify America, Ionity, and all the other networks. But really, we don't want to just root for Tesla. We want to root for all electric cars. Same standard, whether it's CCS or whatever it might be, it looks like it's CCS. It's good for all of the electric car drivers now and the future buyers.
Well, yeah, having some sort of ability for every vehicle to use every station would be fantastic. We're not there yet, but having adapters like this, it's bringing us closer to that point where, anybody can charge anywhere. Now, Tesla's supercharger network's still proprietary. If you have a non-Tesla vehicle, you can't use that. But, we're already starting to hear some rumblings that Tesla's open to, making deals with other manufacturers. So, somewhere down the road, it might be the case where, anybody can charge anywhere. And I think that's good for electric vehicles in general.
All right, now, what would be the advantage for Tesla, owners to buy this? Because, Tesla supercharger network is the biggest one, and it feels like superchargers are anywhere. Is there really a need to once in a while to charge at a CCS compatible fast charger?
So let's make this really clear so your followers understand and we don't get barrage of comments. Most Tesla owners do not need this at any price. And the fact that it's really expensive, it's $980 now. I think the price is going to come down in the future. But for now, 95 to 99% of Tesla owners don't need this. And I wouldn't recommend you buying it. But you would know if you need it. Now, what I mean by that is, do you live in an area where maybe there aren't a lot of superchargers? Do you drive in areas where it would be more convenient to use a CCS DC fast chargers? Now, as you mentioned, Tesla still has the best charging network, the easiest network. You just pull up, plug in, and it works. You don't need to fumble with apps, with cards, all this stuff. So yeah, buying this isn't going to mean, oh, I don't use superchargers anymore. This is kind of an emergency where you're on a long road trip and it's just not convenient for you to use a supercharger. There's a use case for this. It's not for most people, but it will be very useful for some Tesla owners.
Which brings me, of course, to the price. You mentioned it, it's pretty much almost $1,000. Is it worth it? Why is it so expensive, and will it come down?
So yeah, I paid $660, but they had a deal. The first 1,000 people that bought them, they were selling it for $660. They sold out of that first batch. Now the regular retail price is $980, which is crazy expensive. But don't forget, when you have something that nobody else has, you're the only person supplying it, you can charge what you want. But that's going to change because we already know Tesla is already starting to sell an adapter like this in South Korea, and they're going to bring it to North America soon. So once they do, CTEK Power is going to have to respond to that. If Tesla puts something like this out on the market for, say, $500, CTEK Power is going to at least half the price of this thing. So I think while it's crazy expensive now, don't rush out to buy this unless you need it. I think in some time in the near future, you're going to be able to get one of these for a lot less.
And you can see Tom testing the hell out of this adapter on his own channel. I linked to it in the description of this video. Volkswagen has revealed 2 videos of cool prototypes of robots, but at first, based on one of those videos, it looked like those robots were some sort of criminals trying to hunt down a car in a dark parking garage, some sort of a German version of Dexter. But then I looked at the second video, which apparently was designed by the first-year students at the Academy of Fine Arts in San Francisco, but I was still a little confused. Like, why do they work in pairs? Maybe these are Hollywood robots that have agents to drive them to gigs, but then I realized that one robot knows how to find cars that need charging, and the other ones have the juice, which I guess is exactly like having a Hollywood agent. Each robot will be able to charge a car at the maximum rate of 50 kilowatts, which is pretty good, but they will all be limited to a specific parking garage, so I guess they won't be able to take over the world just yet. Now, the reason I think we should all be excited about this is because, don't forget, the self-driving technology is coming, and it would be nice to eliminate the humans from the entire process altogether, and charging these cars is really the last step of the big plan. The Ford Mustang Mach-E deliveries have finally started. Ford has kept its promise to deliver the first vehicles before the end of 2020, and it looks like one of the Ford dealerships in Dallas, Texas got to hand over the keys to one of the very first Mustang Mach-E customers, and Luke has got his 2 old school Mustangs right next to it. I absolutely love this picture. And I know people are divided into 2 camps, as I think we are on everything at this point. There are some people who are saying, no, this is not a real Mustang because, it's a crossover and it's electric. And there's another camp that says, well, this is the future. But I gotta say, I love the fact that Ford gave this electric vehicle that name. It put the pressure on them to deliver a good electric car, and I think they did. Back to some Tesla news, and it looks like Tesla may not be making their own 4680 batteries that they have unveiled at the Battery Day. Panasonic said that they're investing in some production lines at the Gigafactory in Nevada to make those batteries for Tesla. Now, it's unclear if Tesla will also be making their own batteries, or they will completely outsource it to Panasonic, as they have been doing this for many years. Now, LG Chem, one of the battery cell suppliers for Tesla in China, has also announced that they are working on the same type of the battery cell. However, it's unclear if this is specifically for Tesla or they're doing their own thing. But back here in the United States, Panasonic said that they will be making these battery cells later this year. The electric pickup truck field is getting kind of crowded this year, and guess what? They might be getting a new member. Hendrik Fisker has announced that Fisker will be working on their own version of the electric pickup truck. Now, this rendering that he posted on social media is a little different from what he posted last year of the pickup truck called Alaska, but it looks like the design is nowhere near from being finished. Hendrik said that the final version will be more radical, whatever that means. And at this point, we gotta take his drawings a little bit more seriously than before, because after all, it looks like the Fisker Ocean is going in production after Fisker going public and making the big manufacturing deal with Magna. So this might be the reality as well. Now, if you're wondering what to watch next, why not start your new year by learning about all of the new exciting electric car models that are coming out in 2021. I put a link to that video in the description of this one, and if you're watching me on YouTube, you can click on that link up there in that corner. All right, looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.